Hello everyone, are you ready for a new myth? Today, we are diving into a story that starts in the clouds, but ends in the dust. You might know him as the master of the winged horse, the slayer of the impossible Chimera. But the tale of Bellerophon is much more than just a hero's victory. It is a haunting lesson about the thin line between greatness and arrogance. From the golden temples of Lycia to the forbidden gates of Olympus, join me as we follow a man who conquered the skies, only to realize that the earth always claims its due. Grab your seats, because this journey is about to take flight. Some heroes are born in glory, but others are forged in the fires of exile. Meet Bellerophon, a man whose name echoed through the halls of Lycia, not just for his strength, but for his impossible ambition. Forced to flee his home after a tragic mistake, he sought refuge in the court of King Proetus. But destiny is never simple. Betrayed by a queen's false accusations and sent on a suicide mission to a distant land, Bellerophon didn't realize that his path to death would actually lead him to the sky. To kill a monster, you must first do the impossible. You must catch a legend. Bellerophon's task was to slay the Chimera, but on foot he was nothing but prey. He needed the stallion of the clouds, Pegasus. Following the advice of a seer, he spent a night in the temple of Athena. In the stillness of the dark, the goddess of wisdom appeared, leaving behind a golden bridle. When Bellerophon found the winged horse drinking from the Pierian spring, he didn't use force. He used the divine gift. As the golden bit touched the stallion, the wild beast of the heavens became his partner. Together, they were no longer man and horse. They were a storm with wings. High above the jagged peaks of Lycia, the Chimera waited. A nightmare made of lion, goat, and serpent, breathing flames that melted the very air. Any mortal would have turned to ash. But Bellerophon had the sky on his side. He didn't charge blindly. Using Pegasus's speed, he circled the beast, raining down arrows from above. But the fire was too much. In a moment of desperate genius, he attached a block of lead to his spear and thrust it into the monster's flaming throat. The Chimera's own fire melted the lead, sealing its breath and ending its terror. The impossible was done. Bellerophon was no longer just an exile. He was a godslayer. But victory is a dangerous wine. As Bellerophon defeated army after army, the Solymi, the Amazons, his heart began to harden with pride. He forgot that the golden bridle was a gift, not a right. He began to believe that the earth was too small for him. He looked at Mount Olympus, the home of the gods, and thought, I belong there. He mounted Pegasus one last time, not for justice, but for ego. He spurred the winged horse higher and higher, piercing the clouds, daring to knock on the gates of the immortals. Zeus does not tolerate the arrogance of mortals. With a flick of his finger, he sent a tiny gadfly to sting Pegasus. The horse reared in pain, and in a single terrifying moment, Bellerophon lost his grip. He fell, not as a hero, but as a lightning bolt of hubris, crashing back to the world he thought he had outgrown. He survived the fall, but at a terrible price. Blinded, crippled, and stripped of his glory, he spent the rest of his days wandering the Aleian plain, alone and forgotten. Pegasus flew onto the stables of Olympus, but Bellerophon, he became a shadow, a warning whispered in the wind. Remember, the higher you fly on wings that aren't yours, the harder the earth will meet you. As the story of Bellerophon comes to an end, a silent warning remains, echoing across the dusty plains. Most of us remember only his victories in the clouds, his unmatched power beneath the wings of Pegasus. But the true lesson is hidden in those final seconds, where the wings grew tired and gravity reclaimed its prize. Life constantly offers us new peaks to conquer. We slay our chimeras, defeat the impossible monsters in our path. And sometimes there comes a moment where we get so drunk on our own success that we believe the sky belongs to us alone. Success is the sweetest, yet most dangerous wine. The more you drink, the more it thirsts. And the more you thirst, the more it pushes you to drift away from the ground of reality. eyeing thrones where you do not belong. Bellerophon's mistake wasn't flying. His mistake was believing that the wings he flew on belonged to him. He mistook the golden bridle of Athena for his own strength. He confused a divine gift with an earned right. Remember, every tool that carries you to the top, every talent you possess, is actually a loan. If you forget how you got there once you reach the summit, you will learn how hard the earth is the moment you fall. Now ask yourself, what is your Pegasus? What are the wings carrying you toward your dreams? Is it your talent, your ambition, or the people who believe in you? Respect those wings, but never declare them as your own divinity. True power is being able to smell the earth, even while soaring above the clouds. Hubris doesn't just anger the gods. It makes you a stranger to yourself. If you don't want to wander your own Aleian Fields, blind and alone like Bellerophon, take your soul with you as you rise. Approach the light, touch the stars, but remember that your wings were never yours. They were merely with you for a time. Because those who fall from the highest are the ones who trusted only their wings and left their hearts behind on the ground. May the light be your legend, but let your shadow be your guide. I'm Emma. Until the next fate, stay grounded.